Good day to each and everyone. Now, I will represent to you the different skeletal body parts of the animals, which are the rabbit, the goat, the chicken, the pig, the cattle, and lastly, the carabao. Before I will start the presentation, let me introduce to you our group mates who assigned to report the different skeletal parts of the animals. For the rabbit, Mr. Bernisto and Miss Katulong. For the goat, Miss Misamin and Miss Calambro A. For the cattle, Miss Calambro AB and Miss Vicente. And for the pig, Mr. Arsenia. For the carabao, Miss Boniti. And lastly, for the chicken, Miss Bornia and yours truly, Miss Cindy. So let's start our presentation. The first is the rabbit.
Good day, this is the skeletal parts of a rabbit. Optic fossa, frontal, maxilla, premaxilla, nasal, scomosal, pretal, supraoccipital, tympanic, atlas vertebra, axis, cervical, scapula, thoracic vertebrae, lumbar vertebrae, ilium, sacrum, vertebral ribs, femur, sternum, sternal ribs, pubes, fibula, tibia, ischium, tarsals, caudal vertebra. Zygomatic or acromion, coracoid process, genal cavity, metachromion process, humerus, radius, melacarpals, close, ulna, corpus, longus.
So, good day, Ma'am Melissa. I will be explaining the 8 major functions of rabbit's skeleton. The skulls. The skulls consist of axis cervical, atlas vertebra, tympanic, supraoccipital, aquamosal parietal, optic fossal, frontal, maxilla, premaxilla, and nasal. They are all responsible to protect the brain of the specific animals. Pelvic girdle. Pelvic girdle has 4 parts: lumbar vertebrae, ilium, sacrum, and caudal vertebrae. It helps pelvic girdle to maintain the posture from the spinal to the end of the tail of the rabbit. Hindlimb bones. These hindlimb bones can be found in the hind parts of the rabbit, which consist of phalange, metatarsals, tarsals, ischium, tibia, fibula, pubis, and femur. These all parts helps the hindlimb bones become complete in maintaining and helping the structure of a rabbit's skeleton. Pectoral girdle has 4 parts: metachromium process, gynoid cavity, coracoid process, and acromion. These 4 parts help forelimb bones and sternum and ribs connect to each other. And lastly, lower jaw. The lower jaw has only 1 part, and this is the zygomalic arc. This simply help the rabbit to jaw and beat the foods.
That's all our report.
For the skeletal part of a rabbit,
Let's
thank you.
proceed to the next animal, which is the goat.
Good day, this is our report. It's all about the skeletal part of the goat. This is the horn, the jaw, molars, incisors, scapular cartilage, shoulder blade, point of the shoulder, sternum, humerus, elbow joint, ulna or radius, knee, front cannon, front pastern, withers, the back, the loin, the chin, the rump, the tail, the hip or wing of the ilium. This is the ribs, the curl, staple joint, costal cartilage, tibia or fibula, rear cannon, rear pastern, the hook, the hip joint, the femur, and the pin bone.
Molars. Molars is a grinding tooth at the back of a mammal's mouth. Humerus. The humerus is the bone of the upper arms of four-limb forming joints at the shoulder and the elbow. The sternum. The sternum or breastbone is a long, fast bone located in the central part of the chest. Ribs. Ribs is the protecting the thoracic cavity and its organ. Costal cartilage. Costal cartilage is found at the anterior ends of the ribs, providing medial extension. Staple joint. Staple joint is a joint in the legs of horses, dogs, and other animals equivalent to the knee in humans. Pin bone. Pin bone is the hip bone, especially of a quadruped. Horn. Horn is a hard permanent outgrowth, often curved and pointed, found in pairs on the heads of the cattle, sheep, goats, giraffes, and etc. And consisting of a core of bone encased and keratinized skin. That's all our report for skeletal parts of the bone. Thank you.
Let's proceed to the next animal, which is the cattle.
Good day, this is our report. It's all about the skeletal parts of the cattle. The skull, scapula or the shoulder blade, the humerus or the arm, sternum, radius or the forearm, metacarpus or the cannon bone, phalanges or the pastern and foot bones. This is the bones of the knee. This is the ribs. This is a staple. This is the bones of the hack, metatarsus, tibia, femur, ilium and ischium or the pelvic or hip bone. This is the vertical column, vertebrae spinal, vertebrae or neck.
Skull is a bone structures that forms of head and vertebrates. Sternum. Sternum is a long flat bone located in the central part of the chest. Ribs. Ribs are the long curved bones which from the rib cage, part of the axle skeleton. Metatarsus are a group of 5 long bones in the foot located between the tarsal bones of the hand and midfoot and the phalanges of the toes. Tibia. Tibia is also known as the shin bone or shank bone, is the larger, stronger, and anterior. Femur. Femur is the proximal bone of the hind limb and tetrap vertebrates.
That's all our report.
For skeletal parts of the cattle.
Thank you.
Let's proceed to the next animal, which is the carabao.
Good day, this is my report for the skeletal parts of the carabao. First is the scapula, also known as the shoulder bone, wing bone, blade bone, which connects the shoulder bone and to the humerus and the clavicle. Next is the vertebrae. The vertebrae is approximate 33 bones that called vertebrae, which separated the invertebrate disc. Next is the pelvis, is either located of the lower part of the trunk of the human body or the animals between the abdomen and thighs. The skull is the bone that or structure forms the head in the vertebrate, support the structure of the face, and provides protective cavity for the brain. The skull has composed of 2 parts, which is the cranium and the mandible. The mandible is the strongest and largest bone of the face which makes the jaw. Humerus. Humerus is the largest and the longest bones of the upper limbs. Tibia. Tibia forms the lower lower parts of the knee joint. Rib cage. Rib cage are bones that encloses and protects the organs such as the heart, the lungs, and the vessels. Calcaneus. Calcaneus bones that connects with the talus and the colloid bones. Metatarsal. Metatarsal joints. Joints that foot joints or the toe are called metatarsal. All for the skeletal parts of the carabao, and thank you.
Let's proceed to the next animal, which is the pig.
These are the skeletal parts of a pig: cranium, scapula, maxilla, mandible, humerus radius, carpal bones, metacarpal bones, ulna, phalanges, metatarsal bones, tarsal bones, fibula, tibia, femur, sacrum, lumbar vertebrae, thoracic vertebrae, cervical vertebrae. Metatarsal bones, also called as metatarsus, are a group of 5 long bones in the foot. Femur. This is a bone of thigh and upper hind limb. Sacrum. A shield-shaped bony structure that is located at the base of the lumbar vertebrae. Cranium. This is a skull that close to the brain and protects the brain from injury. Scapula. It is a triangular shape and it's wide in the middle. Maxilla. The main bone of the upper jaw that carries premolar and molar teeth. Mandible. The jaw or jawbone, especially the lower jawbone. Phalanges. This is the 4-digit or toes in a pig. And that's all my report for skeletal parts of a pig. Thank you.
And lastly, let's proceed to the last animal, which is the chicken.
Good day. This is our report. It's all about skeletal parts of the chicken. This is incisive, nasal, lacrimal, occipital, atlas, mandible, quadrate, epistrophus, humerus, radius, ulna, metacarpus, phalanges, clavicle, coracoid, fibula, metatarsus, tibia, femur, pubis, ischium, pygostyle, ilium, scapula.
Here are some definition and function of each skeletal parts of the chicken. First, femur bone. Femur bone. Femur bone is the only bone in the thigh and the longest bone in the body. Second, skin bone. The skin bone. Skin bone is the forms of the lower and back part of the hip bone. Next, pubic bone. Pubic bone is the most anterior portion of the hip bone. It consists of a body or superior. Coracoid is a small hook-like structure on the lateral edge of the superior anterior portion in the scapula. Clavicle. Clavicle is the bone that runs horizontally between the top of your breastbone and shoulder blade. Mandible. Mandible sa lower jaw or jawbone is the largest, strong, and lowest bone in the human facials. Atlas bone. It supports the weight of the skull. Tibia bone is the shin bone, the larger of the two bones in the lower leg. Metatarsus is a group of bones in the middle of section, the fibula. Fibula or cup bone. Fibula is the leg bone on the lateral side of the tibia to which is connected above and below. Incisive bone is a form from the fusion of a pair small cranial bones at the very tip of the jaws of many animals, usually bearing teeth but not always. Nasal bone are two small oblong bones varying in size and form in different individuals. Lacrimal. Lacrimal bone or gland are paired exocrine glands and for each eye found in most terrestrial vertebrates and some marine mammals that secrete the aqueous layer of the tear film. Occipital. Occipital bone is a cranial-dermal bone and the main bone of the occiput and lower part of the
And
the
that's
skull.
all our report.
About the skeletal parts of chicken.
Thank you.
And
that's all for the Group 1 report. Thank you.